This week I've helped, or at least I hope those involved would agree I've been able to help, people at two ends of the advice spectrum, by which I mean a spectrum of both age and type of problem or concern or need or whatever you think might be the best description. At the younger, sunnier end, a younger person, well, young to me, heading into their 40s, they're successful, running their own business, finding they're making quite a bit more than they're spending, which means they're fortunate enough to have funds building up in various bank accounts. They've put some into higher interest, fixed rate bond type of accounts, but they're not really sure they're doing the best thing. They're thinking they're getting old, which they're not, of course, and thinking they should maybe be a bit more organised and do a bit of planning. Now, the sort of plan or strategy which we'll usually suggest is to split savings into three different types of pot, which we label short term, medium term and long term. Short term savings go into a good bank account and most definitely to tax-free premium bonds. And this is money for holidays, for emergencies and other things you might need money for in the next 3, 4 or 5 years. Medium term would go to stocks and shares ISAs, which depending on how they're invested will go up and down and have some risk, but usually, pretty much always, will do better than the bank over 5 years or more. The long-term money goes into pensions, where you get a tax break on the way in, but the payoff for that is that you can't get your hands on the money for our 40-odd-year-old for maybe 20 years. So you can afford to take more risk here and go for funds which invest pretty much all in shares. If you run your own business, especially if you're a limited company, pensions can have even more tax benefits. They're pretty much the only way to move money out of a company without paying any tax. Now, if whoever we're talking to already has some money built up, we can distribute it between those short-term, medium-term and long-term pots straight away for them. Very often, though, we're talking to someone starting out on the planning journey, as you may hear it called. What we'll be doing then is, rather than directly helping them, pointing them in the right direction, not charging them and taking a long-term view ourselves. We'll usually explain how to DIY it, to perhaps set up your stocks and shares ISAs via an online site. And if they don't work for themselves, and most people don't, suggesting that they add more to the workplace pension, into which everyone is now auto-enrolled. And within that workplace pension, look at the funds available, switch to better funds, often higher risk funds. We'll then ask them to come back to us in a year or two when we can help more. Meanwhile, leave us a great review. Karma, I've found, means that if they keep hearing from us, by these newsletters for instance, we'll almost certainly hear from them again one day. Now, I talked at the start of this chat about the person at the other end of the spectrum, and that was someone needing to use the savings they built up over a lifetime to pay for care costs. And actually the plan we put together for them isn't very different to the savings plan that I've just talked about. I'll save that for next time.